citizens of the Republic of Spoilerverse, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I'm Kenneth Regan, that's Mr. Horsley, and today on the show, well, this is kind of cool because something huge is happening.
It is happening, and we kind of watched it live happen, and then you weren't part of the live stream, but we did a live stream.
I wasn't part of the live stream that you're going to show right now, but I was on the live stream of what was the initial announcement of what's happening.
Yeah. So
I watched
cool.
the live stream. I wasn't
cool.
a part of it. I should say that.
Yeah. No, you're totally part of it. You're the reason it happened, right?
Exactly. I mean, they asked me to play Superman. I said, no. Henry really needs a chance at this acting thing. Why don't you go ahead and use him?
The world's not ready for a Kendrick Superman. We know this.
That's right. The world can't handle a Kendrick Superman.
But we're talking about the Snyder Cut, the Justice League Snyder Cut. That's happening. It's a thing. I mean, we've been saying, Robert over from Shooting the Sith and Bridging the Geekdom, he's been heavy into this for a long time, part of the movement. And you and I have been kind of behind it going, well, if it comes out cool, if it doesn't come out cool, either way, it's fine. But I'm actually excited, right? I'm super excited for it to come out.
Well, exciting because it's something new in the DC universe that you didn't think you'd ever get to see, even though by all approximations, you're not the biggest Zack Snyder fan.
No, but that doesn't matter. I'm excited to see something new with the characters that I like.
And who knows? Maybe he does a lot of things differently. Like when he was talking about Superman with Henry Cavill, you could tell they both... Things have changed. Like he might have said that he's not a big Superman fan in the past, but that's obviously changed dramatically because they just espoused their love of that character and going through.
It was cool.
Some things. I still think they missed the mark on what Superman is, and really, it's just a couple of things that they need to change.
Couple of things. I think Cavill's a great Superman. He can be a great Superman. Just a couple quick things to change, but. The Snyder Cut's coming to HBO Max in 2021. It's
genius of AT&T and Warner Brothers to hold that to their chest until they had their streaming, their streaming service that's ready to release on May 27th. And it's going to be huge considering that they're going to have, Friends on there, The Big Bang Theory's on there, and then, of course, Warner Brothers' extensive catalog. And now you bring something that everybody thought they would never see, basically a year later. It's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be cool. And Robert and I got together for a Bridging the Geekdom's Spoiler Country crossover, live stream on Facebook. You weren't there because you were off being Kendrick doing other stuff. And I honestly, I think I forgot to tell you about it. But
you did. Anyways, you did. You didn't say anything. I was like, what?
Which was fun. We had people join in and chat and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. We did about 35 minutes live stream, and we're going to play it for you here.
There you guys go.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another crossover event of sorts with Spoiler Country and Bridging the Geekdoms. I am Robert Slavinsky, and to my side over there is Mr. John Horsley.
What's up? How you doing, man?
What's going on? So we decided to do this because some big news came out today, something that I've been very passionate about now for the past...
Annoyingly passionate about. Let's be honest.
It hasn't been annoyingly. Jeez, come on. But no,
I wrote an entire counter article to your first article of why we need this.
But today, Zack Snyder had a watch party for Man of Steel. Much like he did with Batman vs. Superman back in March, he decided to do one for Man of Steel today. And at first, a lot of people just thought, hey, the 7-year anniversary of Man of Steel is this June, so maybe that's why he's doing it. But as the day was getting closer and closer, people started to put two and two together and realized, okay, there's something bigger going on here because Man of Steel came out in June. Why all of a sudden is he doing this in May?
Yeah.
Well, it was an amazing watch party. I was part of the watch party. I watched Man of Steel along with them and loved every bit of it. I love it. Again, Man of Steel is a masterpiece. We're not getting into it now, John.
Next time. I didn't watch the movie, but I joined the live stream at the end.
Yeah. And it was really cool. I mean, Zack and Deborah Snyder, they're both amazing people. They love the community, the fans. They are huge in the community with fans. And he tries to give back as much as he can when he can. And this watch party was one of those times where he brought fans on to the watch party at the end. After the movie was done, he brought fans on and to answer questions. But one of the most interesting thing was about 5-10 minutes before the movie ended, they had a guest pop up who nobody was really expecting to show up, and that was Henry Cavill.
Yeah, and Henry Cavill's pop up was pretty much like the telling point of, oh, they're going to announce something. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's why they waited till far into it, because I think if I
just want to say, of course, he had to show up in a tank top, showing off his like fucking rip. I'm like, dude, could you just, I mean, either put a shirt on or just go shirtless. One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, it's Henry Cavill, though. I mean, come on.
Yeah, true. But yeah. So go ahead, keep going.
So, he came on and he was talking to Zach, and they were talking about different things about the movie and everything like that. And that was, like you said, it was kind of the moment when everybody was kind of like, okay, they could be announcing something. But as we got to the question part of it, where all the fans started asking questions, it was nobody was asking that question. Nobody.
I think honestly, I think the fans, the people who were on the live stream, right, that got to join at the end, I'm pretty sure they were all not. The questions probably had to be pre-approved or something, or it was like, hey, don't ask this question until the one person who was queued up to ask it asked it. It should have been. It was probably like, hey, you can ask this question. Everybody else, don't ask about it.
Yeah, no, you're right. And some of the people that were on there, some of the fans that were on there, are people that I've actually spoken with and been in contact with via Twitter and different social media sites about the Release the Snyder Cut movement. So I had a feeling that those people, since they were going to be on there, it was gonna be a slow burn to get to the announcement. They were gonna go question by question with different people, and that's why they brought some of those people on, because they knew that they weren't going to go off topic. They were going to say, "Hey, look, ask us this question. That's all you can ask. We will get to that question at the end."
Right. Do you think the people who joined in they knew ahead of time, or did you think it was?
I don't.
Reveal?
I think it was a real time reveal for them. The reaction by some of them was pretty.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. It was. I mean, I had the same reaction. I stood up and had my arms. And was like, yeah.
we should have been live streaming and recording ourselves the reaction for it.
Oh, we should have.
Kendrick was watching too. You know that?
Oh, I didn't know he was watching.
Yeah. I said not the movie, but the actual live stream Q&A part at the end. I sent Kendrick the link, so the three of us were actually all watching at the same time and talking on our Slack channel.
But it was funny because when they finally got to that question, and don't get me wrong, the questions prior, some of them were actually pretty interesting and pretty cool, and you could tell they were just trying to buy time, to extend it as much as possible. But
I was like, hurry up, I gotta get back to work.
Even Henry Cavill asked a question, which I thought was kind of funny. But when they finally got to the question, when is your version of Justice League coming out? Zach decided to play a little coy. He was just kind of like, it's
not up to me.
Yeah, it's not up to me. It's not mine. It's done. I have it. I just give it to him and they can put it out.
It's not actually done though.
No, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Sorry, jumping ahead.
And then I can't remember which way it went, but Debbie Snyder, she jumped in. She started talking about how great it would be to finally see Zach's vision and see what her husband had worked on for how many years. And
Cavill did too. He jumped in saying, "You want Cavill? Go ahead and do it."
Well, Cavill, I loved Cavill because he had a little fun with it.
Yeah,
because when he was like, I would love to see a version of the movie without the mustache.
We all would.
Yes.
What's funny about that? Kendrick's like, I didn't notice the mustache when I first watched the movie. I'm like, how could you not notice the mustache? Like the first scene, it's like, oh my God, what's wrong with his lip?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty noticeable. Yeah. It really is.
But back to the good stuff.
yeah, back to good stuff. It finally, it went back to Zach, and there was a little bit of banter between he and his wife. Like, what can I show you though? There's nothing I can really do. I can't show you the movie. I think it was Cavill who was like, "Why don't you just show him the movie? Just show him the movie."
Right. Just do it. Show it to him.
Yeah. He was like, I can't show you the movie, but I can show you this. And up on his screen, the picture behind me, right there.
There it is.
Is what was shown to everybody watching on Vero Social. And it was exciting.
It was exciting. The looking at people's faces and like, I can just picture your look on your face because I couldn't see it. But I was like, man, Robert's probably losing his shit right now.
I had a high for probably a good 2 hours after that. I was just so excited and like it's finally coming. And unfortunately, I mean, if you take a look, it does say that right there, 2021 and HBO Max.
That'll come faster than you realize. I mean, it's already going to be. That's only what 8 months away, essentially 7 months away, and it's going to come way faster than we realize.
I think a lot of it has to do with this because you got to remember Snyder does have Army of the Dead with Netflix coming out, and it's coming out in 2021. It's most likely going to be a Halloweenish release for that movie.
Probably, yeah.
So you pretty much have from January to September because Warner Brothers nor Netflix are going to want to have two Snyder things coming out at the same time competing each other, especially under streaming services.
Right. My assumption is they're going to release this probably like March, April next year. That's my guess.
That's my hope. But you also have to remember this. He wants to do additional footage. Yeah. Like he wants to shoot additional footage.
It's not going to get like a May 3rd or May 2nd release date or a summer release date going to a streaming service unless they do a theatrical release as well. It's going to be coming out on an off time for theaters if we ever get back to going to theaters.
I think the most interesting thing is what the Hollywood Reporter put out today as well. Yeah. That he's getting a budget of $20 million plus.
Right, minimum of $20 million.
Yeah, $20 million or more to finish this project, which is fantastic, especially with all the money that they've already put into the Justice League movie that came out. So they're giving him this extra money to do that. Plus, he wants to do additional scenes. Now, there's already 5 hours of footage done. Like he has 5 hours of footage. He had like a 3.5 hour cut. Assembly cut made sitting there, but he had a total of like 5 hours of footage shot.
Yeah.
If he's doing additional footage, he's probably going to have upwards of 6-7 hours of footage, if not more, when all is said and done.
I hope it's not. I really hope they don't just release one giant like 4 hour movie. I do hope they do it and they split it into parts because my biggest fear about this happening is, I'm not going to go dive too much into my thoughts or other stuff. My biggest fear is it's going to come out similar to BVS where there's just so much crammed into 3.5 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So I really hope with them doing this, and I feel like Warner Bros. is going to do this for him, is make it as long as you want, and they can break it into 2 parts or a mini series or whatever, right? But give it the room it needs to breathe. Don't try and cut it down for time strain because you're on a streaming service. You don't have to worry about time constraints. Make it as long as it needs to be. Put it in 2 movies if you have to. Put it into a 4-part miniseries, whatever. Make it 8 hours long. I don't give a shit. But whatever you do, don't squish it down to where there's too much happening in a short amount of time. That's my biggest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm looking forward to them doing a series. They still haven't decided, according to the Hollywood Reporter, they haven't decided whether it's going to be like a 6-episode miniseries or just one massive cut of a movie that they're going to drop. I can't imagine that they're going to drop a 4-hour, 5-hour long movie. At minimum, it's going to be split into 2, I think.
I think they'll get more bang for their buck if it is over 4 hours. They'll get more bang for their buck if they can do it into a miniseries, an episodic. Do it in episodes.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're going to have people who are going to only sign up for HBO Max to see that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if it's a 1-day event, that's either a free subscription that people are going to utilize or 1 month, $14.99.
Exactly.
Whereas if they split it up over 5 to 6 weeks, that's 2 months of revenue they're going to make there from those people.
And people will do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I gave you. I'll be honest, everybody out there. I gave Robert a ton of shit for the last year about this, or more, or actually, I don't know. However long I've known you and you've talked about this, I've given you shit about this, and I was telling Kendrick because I don't know if I'm actually more excited to watch the movie or that is coming out, or if I'm more excited the fact that you get to see the movie because of how much you've put into this for the last 2 years. I don't know which level for me is more exciting. They're both exciting, but honestly, I think I'm more excited because it's like finally this thing that you and all the people out there behind it. And I mean, and I supported it too. Right? I retweeted it out, and we talked about it on this Welcome to Your Podcast. We did a whole pod essay with you on there. We have it on the website, But I obviously wasn't as passionate about Snyder's vision as you are. But I'm excited to see where this thing goes because while I did enjoy the Justice League movie, it's not without its horrible, drastic, big fault of failing. It doesn't fit into the other two movies at all. It's like its own standalone thing with the same characters. And I am curious to see where it goes out, and if Snyder's given the room, which as we talked about, I'm pretty sure he will be, to make it to where it's a finalized piece, we might actually get some answers to the questions that have bugged me for 7-8 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping. I mean, you got to remember, he had a vision of a total of 4 additional movies after Man of Steel. Because you got to remember, Man of Steel wasn't his movie. I mean, he directed it, but it was a story by Christopher Nolan, written by David Goyer. Snyder came in to direct it. It was after that, with Batman vs. Superman Forward, he came up with the idea of doing 4 additional films that would essentially expand on what he was on the story of Superman, and see kind of his rise, his fall, and his rise to being the Superman that everybody loves. And it was a realistic take on how the world would react to something like that. He had 4 movies for that. We're now cramming that into BVS and whatever this Justice League is going to be now. So I do hope they let him fill it up and not fill it up, but finish off his story. Are we going to see the little tidbits that we've heard? I mean, this right here, this is the story that he was supposed to make, that whole thing right there. And the story's out there. I mean, there's enough information out there that we know what was going to happen. Is he going to do that, or is he going to change it slightly and make it fit into a 6-hour miniseries or 5-hour miniseries or whatever?
I can almost guarantee you it's going to be a little bit of both. It's going to be his initial vision plus new stuff. Because I mean, as a creator, if you're sitting on something for 3 years and you have the opportunity to go finish it, you have new ideas or new takes on things, right? You can take your current ideas and make them, expand on them, make them better, right? I guarantee if he's given the freeway to do it, he's not only going to talk about what he was trying to do before, but he's going to add new stuff into it that's come to him in the last 3 years. Because the more you think about things, the more ideas come flowing out. And, it's going to be exciting. And this is something that's unprecedented. This has never happened before. This is definitely a new territory. And I think I want to ask you about this, because there's whole movement about the release the Ayer cut, right, for the Suicide Squad and all that other shit.
Yes.
But I firmly believe this, but do you believe that if it wasn't for like the lockdown and the way things currently are in the world, that this would still be happening when it's happening?
The people that I've talked to, and if you've listened to my podcast this week, especially,
I don't.
Thanks.
I mean, yes, I do.
No, especially this week, I've talked to a few people. I've talked to someone from theculturednerd.org, Marcus. That actually episode drops hopefully tomorrow.
Right.
If not tomorrow, it will be out Friday. And I've talked to a couple other people who have researched or is in the know probably more so than I am. It seems like this was already in motion as far back as November.
Okay.
The pandemic actually hurt it and put it on hold a little bit. I think they were planning on getting things done a lot sooner and a lot quicker, and then COVID happened and it kind of pushed everything back. It seems like Snyder had talked to some of the actors and people involved a while ago about it. And it's one of those things, like, I think it was going to happen. And I'm going to be honest with you. That Joker movie has a big part in why this movie is being, or why this is happening, I should say.
Why is that?
Because of the budget. You take a look at how little money they had to throw at Joker for that to be made, and then what they got back for it.
A lot.
Yes. The fact that they're like, okay, the way they're looking at it from my perspective is Justice League was a movie. It's done. They put their $300 million into that movie. It made $600 million. There, it's done. It's over with.
Right.
They're now saying, well, we can give $20 million, $30 million to Zack Snyder now. He's going to take some of that stuff that wasn't used in that movie over there, plus do some additional stuff and put it out, and we can make $100 million.
And another $100, $200 million off of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's their mindset.
I think so too. I agree. My comment of the quarantine helping this is more on the sides of the people who are going to be working at, on the special effects, finishing stuff out like that. A lot of the people are now opened up because a lot of their projects are on hold indefinitely until this gets over with.
Sure.
There's a lot of people who couldn't work on this before that can now work on it because all their projects can't be filming.
Mm-hmm.
Now that doesn't help with like the reshoots or additional footage with the actors to come back and do more scenes and finish out scenes. They can't do that until the world opens up again. But like all the stuff they wanted to do that never got finished FX, they now have people who can work on those because they're not working on other things because everything's closed down. So
No, that completely makes sense.
I have no idea if it's true or not. That's all me just talking out my ass.
Yeah, a little bit. But honestly, I think my thought with that is everything's starting to open back up now. I mean, slowly but surely things are getting opened back up. And I think that's why we have to wait till 2021 for this to come out. Because if it wasn't for Henry Cavill, for instance, has a long ass contract for The Witcher. I mean, and they travel to 6 different countries and do all this when they're filming that. So if they are going to do additional footage, which we know they are because Mighty Pegasus, who won the poster contest, has I can't remember the board, the thing that goes, I can't remember the name of it for some reason. Anyway, he won that. And on it says that there's going to be an additional scene with Superman, Batman, Lois, or Martian Manhunter. So, cool. And he's going to get to, and the interview I did with him, which I just talked to him the other day, it's going to be out probably in a week or so. Check it out because he's so excited about it. And he's going to get to go on set. He's going to go on set and get to go, blah, 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 click. and the scene will start. So that's really cool. So we know that they're doing additional footage with Superman. So they have to fit that in around what he's doing with Witcher. And
you got to refilm all this shit with the mustache. Get that mustache shit out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because those mustache scenes like ruined those fucking scenes. It's so bad.
It is really, really bad. It really is. But it's been nice to see because you have people like Jason Momoa who's been freaking out about it. He's excited about it. You have Ray Fisher, who was streaming earlier today on Twitch, and he actually got emotional about it.
Oh yeah,
and
dude, Ray Fisher's all in for Cyborg, man. I really hope he gets to keep going on that character. We didn't get to see enough of him to actually develop. I mean, we didn't get to develop a character at all with him, pretty much. I like to see him do more. Yeah. I was gonna say something that could be construed as negative, so I won't say that. But let's try to keep positive.
Yeah. And that's kind of the thing, and that's what I've been touting now on Twitter and everything like that. Is we got to stay positive. I know there's a lot of people out there who are saying it's never going to happen, and how great would it be to go, haha, in your face.
Who cares?
But at this point, it doesn't matter. It's good news. It's something that's exciting. Let's just be excited about it and move forward. And even Henry Cavill posted on Instagram something like that. Like, just guys, it's a time to celebrate. It's time to be happy. We're getting another Justice League. We're getting more Superman. Henry Cavill Superman and more Ben Affleck Batman. Like, it's all exciting. And what else?
To say that there's no need to be like rub it in someone's face, because really just the fact that it's coming out is enough rubbing in their face.
Yeah,
because it's happening. I mean, I teased you honestly. If I'm being totally honest with you about this whole thing, I never had a doubt in my mind that it was going to come out. Right, like as soon as it was a thing, I was like, that someday they'll release it, because Warner Brothers would be literally throwing away millions of dollars if they don't release this.
Yeah,
because people will pay to see it, even if they released it in the unfinished form. People are going. I mean, even though I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan, I would still pay to see it because it's fucking Superman, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to make money no matter what. And if they give them the $20, $30, $50 million to finish it out and make it better, it's going to make even more money. So it would have been stupid for Warner Brothers not to do it. It was just a matter of time. So all the people that have been out there like, oh, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. They don't understand fucking capitalism. Right?
Basically, yeah, you're right on that. The big problem came down, and Deborah Snyder talked about it, is the rights to the movie and how they could get it out. Because there's certain rules and regulations when it comes to the different movie guilds and everything like that.
And streaming rights and distribution rights and all that kind of bullshit.
Exactly. And with HBO Max, with the release of that, or with that coming out, that changed the game. That is what really, if it wasn't for HBO Max, I don't think it would be happening right now. It would have been a thing in 20 years, like Zach was saying, 20 years from now, they'd be doing a documentary and he'd just get to give his footage to them to make that documentary.
Right.
And with this now, with HBO Max, I think that was the perfect opportunity, which is why what they also did was they rebranded it.
Only on HBO Max.
But it's Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Well, and that's smart of Warner Brothers, because that allows them to not only it basically allows them to repackage it as a new thing. So it's like you have Justice League, but then you have Zack Snyder's Justice League. So it's two things to where people who will be able to eventually buy both, see both, and separate them out as being two different things.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, that's the best way to do it, and instead of confusing people.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be confusing to begin with, but I think the benefit that Warner Brothers has right now is word of mouth marketing.
Oh,
they don't really need to market this at all.
Hardly. Yeah.
And I was talking to my fiance downstairs a little bit ago, and I'm talking to her, and she watched Man of Steel today for the first time, and she only caught like the last maybe 45, 50 minutes of it. And she was like, it was a pretty good movie. I'm like, yeah, it was. And I was like, after this, we'll watch Batman vs. Superman, and then we'll do this. And then I was like, and what we'll do is we'll watch Justice League, and then we'll watch the new Justice League. You'll see how bad that one was. I mean, that's just the exciting stuff with this, and I'm all for the David Ayer cut also of Suicide Squad, only because I know that cut's out there. I mean, if you look at all the history of that movie, they had multiple versions of it that they screened and tested, and they went with the one that got released for some odd reason, and he's even talked like there's about 90% of Jared Leto's performance was left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm off. I'd see it. I want to watch it. I like Suicide Squad, not because it's a good movie. I just had a lot of fun watching it. To me, Suicide Squad was a collection of scenes that make for a fun experience. But the plot sucks, right?
Yeah.
The release version, the plot's not there. So I'm all. I mean, yeah. If there's a version out there there is, that's more true to what he was looking for. I mean, I'll watch it. I mean, I'll watch almost anything. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, Birds of Prey was great. So let's
I love Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey was awesome.
Oh, it was amazing. So yeah, look, I'm just looking forward to this 2021, whatever date that it gets released or whatever happens, can't come soon enough. I'm excited about it. It's awesome that they're bringing back anybody who worked on it that's able to come back is going to go back and work on this movie. It seems like Junkie XL will probably come back to finish or to add his music to it or make additional music, whatever he has to do. I can't wait. I can't wait. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just real exciting. I've been hoping for this for 3 years now, and it's coming to fruition, and it's exciting. And while I'm excited myself and I'm happy the movie's coming out, I don't want it to be mistaken that I am extremely happy for Zack Snyder, not only for the artistic integrity and all that kind of stuff, but for what happened to him during production of that movie. His daughter committed suicide, and it kind of is the reason that he dove back into work, but Warner Brothers took advantage of that. They took advantage of his daughter dying and knew that if they just kept pushing, that he was either going to do what they wanted to do, what they wanted them to do, you know what I'm saying? Or he would step out and back out and leave. Warner Brothers took advantage of that. And now this is a completely different Warner Brothers team. Since AT&T bought them, everything is completely different. There's, Roland Emmerich. Why did I say Toby?
There you go.
Roland Emmerich, is now kind of the head of everything over there with the movies. And, there's different people there now. And I think that's the important thing is to realize that this wasn't just about getting a movie that fans want to see out. While that's a big part of it, but it's also we got to respect Zack Snyder. And I think that Hollywood or Warner Brothers at the time just did him dirty. I mean, they really did.
Now you want to debate. I don't necessarily know if that's true, because back when this whole thing went down, they, even from Snyder himself, stated that Warner Brothers asked him if they wanted to delay the release so he could finish it out, and he said no. And then they brought on Joss Whedon. It wasn't like they just said "fuck you, you're out." It was
no, and they didn't kick him out. Let me make this clear. They didn't kick him out. He stepped down, but it was the pressure that was on him from Warner Brothers. Jeff Johns and John Berg were a big part of the pressure that was put on Snyder and moving in a different direction with his film than what he envisioned, what he planned, what he shot. He had that 3.5 hour version that he showed them, and they're like, no, we got to cut that down to 2 hours. And he's like, I had a 4 hour version. Now you want me to cut it down to 2 hours? He was pushing back. It was originally going to be 3 more movies, 3 Justice League movies. They made it and said, nope, it's going to be 2. And then they're like, nope, we got to make it 2 hours. It was just one thing after another. They just kept pushing and pushing on him. And with what he was dealing with in his personal life, on top of that, it was just, it was something that he lost his ability to want to do it, and he stepped away and he backed out, and they brought Joss Whedon in. And a lot of people want to sit there and blame Joss Whedon for what he did, but he was just doing a job. Whether you like Joss Whedon or not, he was just doing a job. He came in and they paid him and they said, hey, do this, and he did it. Was it a great movie? No. Was it okay? Yeah, I mean, it's watchable.
It's fun.
It's watchable.
But as a standalone film outside of everything else, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I walked away from it going, that was a lot of fun. But I mean, it's not. I mean, Steppenwolf is very much like a video game bad guy, but
But I'm real excited to see what Snyder has in store for us, because
I think Darkseid will be in it.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, 100% Darkseid will be in it.
You think the whole ending is going to be different? The whole ending fight is going to be different?
That's tough, because what is he going to reshoot? Because technically the ending was already different in Snyder's vision, because in Snyder's vision, Steppenwolf's head got cut off and rolled into a boom tube, and Darkseid stepped on it.
Yeah.
So we already know his original vision and idea was different, but is he going to change it again? Because is he going to close this off? Is he going to close the story off, or is he kind of hoping? There's some talk. Could this lead to him being able to continue and move forward with more? I don't think so. I think this is going to be kind of like a nice little end, like, all right, here's the trilogy, and we're done. But you never know. You really don't know.
I think this is going to be the end of it, right? It's going to be. I hope he caps off the story and doesn't leave it wide open, hoping they give him more, and it never happens, because that's going to be. That's just going to piss me off.
Me too.
Yeah,
but it'll be nice to see everything again and see what his vision was. And honestly, the biggest thing for me with the excitement is the music. Danny Elfman's score was horrendous. I can't wait to see what Junkie XL had in store for us.
Didn't he have a whole score done?
For the most part, yeah.
A mostly done score for the movie, yeah.
A mostly done score. And then they're like, yeah, we're bringing Danny Elfman in, who had 6 weeks to put something together.
No, Elfman's great, but that's not enough. That's not enough time.
No,
and he movie like this.
And he reused old themes. He used his Burton Batman theme. He used John Williams Superman theme. And it was kind of like, there's already themes and things built into this universe. Why are you bringing different ones in? It didn't feel right to me. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, I watched Justice League for the first time since seeing it in theaters, and I couldn't stand the music. It was that bad.
You think about the black suit?
Yes, yeah, we will see the black suit. 100%, we will see a black suit.
But guaranteed no mullet, though.
Yeah, he said the mullet.
# mullet for Superman, all right?
Look, no mullet, no mustache. That's all right.
It's funny. We talked, on Spoiler Cruncher, we've talked to Louis Simonson, and we talked to Dan Jurgens, and a bunch of people behind the whole Death of Superman that bringing him back. Mm-hmm. And if you talk to them, they will flat out tell you it was not a mullet. He just had long swooping hair, but because his front hair was longer, so it was not a mullet. And they get upset when you say it was a mullet. So
it wasn't. I've always known it wasn't a mullet, but people like to call it a mullet.
# mullet for Superman. Just saying.
Look, I had a mullet when I was a kid, so I know what a mullet is. And that definitely wasn't.
I had a rat tail.
I got to blame my mom for that.
I had a 12-inch rat tail on the back of my head when I was a kid.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, I was awesome. All right, man. I think we should wrap this up. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Just real quick, make sure you check out my podcast this week. I have a bunch of cool episodes regarding the Snyder Cut. Obviously, everything that I did, the people I talked to and had on my show, it was all before today's announcement. So
it's all because of you. You did it. You brought it out. You made it happen.
But but a lot of the discussion and talk was about the release of Snyder Cut and how we got to where we were at that point. Now it's coming out. I'm actually going to get some of these people back on over the next couple of weeks to discuss everything. So I'm looking forward and excited about that. But also, don't forget, like, if you were excited about this, like I am, or even if you're like, hey, I can't wait to see it. The Snyder Cut movement, there are people within this movement on Twitter, on Facebook, on social medias, everything like that, who have been amazing. They are great people. They have been helping raise money for suicide prevention and everything like that. It has been a fantastic movement. The people who are mean and everything like that, they don't belong in our movement that we've been doing. These people are great people. They're a lot of fun. They're great to talk to. So if you happen to come across any one of them, if you're excited about this movie, just tell them thank you, because this wouldn't be happening without the people who are out there. I'm going to say it on the front lines every day saying, release the Snyder Cut. We get the Snyder Cut. Let's get the Snyder Cut. And showing Warner Brothers that we wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't say any better than that. You know, just being the movement done some great stuff. There's, as with any movement, there's some bad actors, some bad apples, but overall the movement's was positive and pushed things forward in the right way. So,
yeah, exactly.
So Robert, why don't you tell everybody out there what your show is and your other show is and how they can find it?
So this show that I'm doing right now is Bridging the Geekdoms podcast, where we talk to people that can bridge two geekdoms together, you know, cosplayers, writers, artists, all that kind of fun stuff, and how they bridge it to other forms of geekdom. We also talk about the current news from time to time and what's going on in Hollywood and comics and movies and TV and all that fun stuff. My other show, Shooting the Sith, is a Star Wars podcast. This week, no episode. Next week, I'm coming back with another episode because there's some things that have come out lately. But you can find all that on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, all that stuff, or on our awesome website, spoilerverse.com. Amazing website. A lot of great things there, as well as a whole bunch of other podcasts like that one right over that way, Spoiler Country. So, that's where you can find everything.
Yeah. So, and if you care to hear me talk some more, there's a couple of places you can do that. One, this podcast right here, Spoiler Country. That's our big one. That's the one that birthed the Spoilerverse out of there. You can myself and Kendrick talk about everything from, we do tots, which are tangents to tangents. We talk to creators, we talk to artists, writers, musicians, actors, directors, composers, all across the board. And right now, this show's kind of crazy, and we release pretty much an episode a day. We do an episode a day since middle of March, and it's not stopping in time. So we've got episodes scheduled out until end of June right now. So that's where you can go see that. Any podcatcher out there, spoilerverse.com. If you want to hear, I have another show called Haphazard Adventures where I talk to my wife about stuff and going on adventures and shit. And it's, again, any podcatcher or spoilerverse.com. Or if you want to hear me just talk to myself, you can do the same thing. All podcatchers, spoilerverse.com for YTCR Radio. And be sure to go to spoilerverse.com. There's not only our podcast there's articles by a bunch of people on there, like Jay Roach and Sarah Kay and Robert and Colton and myself and Kendrick and everybody else who writes on there, and David, about, you know, upcoming movies, TV shows, comic books, you know, what they had for lunch that day, how they work out, movies they like, movies they don't like, paranormal stuff. It's there's so much stuff there. We have 4 to 5 articles releasing every day. So spoilerverse.com is your one-stop shop for everything that's awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah?
It's been a pleasure.
So, it's been a pleasure, man. So until next time, man, take it easy, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Talk to you next week.
And we're back.
We're back. So, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for Robert. I'm excited for all the fans out there who have pushed for this. As we've talked about, I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan, but that doesn't matter, right? This is more for the people out there who want this, and I can support that. I can support.
What if you watch this and it fixes all your issues?
That'd be awesome. Like, it's funny because me as a fan of the DC characters and Superman, it's like, for me, this is another chance to see more Superman, more Wonder Woman, more Aquaman, Batman, and stuff like that, right? It's for me to see more. I don't really care that it's Snyder doing it. It's cool. I think it's cool for the fact that this has never happened before, and this is something new, and we're going to see. I really feel this is going to be more of the artist's vision, because they're going to give him they're giving him $20-30 million more to finish it out. He's going to be able to finish out the way he wants to, and it's going to go on, stream on HBO Max. It's going to be either a super long movie.
They're giving him more money to do this?
Yeah, Warner Bros. Is giving him at minimum $20 million more to finish this movie out.
Wait. Are they adding stuff to it? Is he doing more work to it? I thought this was all done and they're just releasing it in 2021.
No, they're giving him at minimum $20 million more to finish the special effects, to finish the stuff, and all the actors have signed on to come back and do the needed scenes. So like there'll be more Cavill Superman. They're going to fix all the mustache scenes. You know, they're going to add stuff to it.
That's crazy. Has this ever happened?
I don't think this has ever happened before. You know, I mean, I guess the Donner cut, right, is kind of similar, but I mean, this is way different.
Well, the Donner cut and the Donner cut too. I don't think they reshot anything. He just re-edited because most of his stuff was already done, and I think he used a lot of the other directors. I can never remember the other director who actually the theatrical cuts director's name. But anyways, I think he used a lot of that guy's stuff too. So I don't know. That's weird, man. I had no idea they were doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's unprecedented. It's gonna be interesting. As I said, I'm not the biggest Snyder fan of the Snyder of this or this version of Superman, but that's okay because I'm excited. I'm still excited to see it. I mean, why wouldn't I watch it? You know, right?
Right.
Richard Lester.
Richard Lester. That's right. That's right.
The director of Superman 2 before took over for Richard Donner. But yeah, it's cool. And I mean, Robert and I talked a little bit at the end there about, is this going to lead into Zack Snyder doing something new for the DCEU? I doubt it. This is probably going to be them finishing it off, capping off his trilogy of stories, and then they're going to move on, which is probably what they should do. But if it turns out to him doing more, and this ends up being a good tail end to this trilogy he was doing, or actually it was a 5-movie thing he was supposed to be doing, it ended up being 3 movies because that cut short. But if that happens, then that's going to be really awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. This makes me more excited for it now. Honestly, I'm such a sucker on the special effects. I didn't even notice the whole mustache gate until it was like everybody was talking about it. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And even now when I go back and watch, I really don't notice it.
I do. If you look at the screen caps, it's like, it's so bad. No offense to whoever worked on special effects for that. I mean, I'm sure you did your best job, and I couldn't do it, but it sticks out like a sore thumb to me. First thing I see is that. It's crazy. But we're going to get a new version of it. We're going to get the Snyder's version of it, and it's going to be cool. I'm excited for it. I hope they break it out into a miniseries because they already have 5 hours of footage. So if they get more, break it out into like a 3-episode miniseries or something like that.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Wow, I'm excited. This makes me more excited than I thought. The fact that they're giving him more money to do more deleted scenes and to fix some of the mustache gate. Honestly, man, if I was Cavill, I probably would have just hired somebody to give me a mustache aesthetic every morning and just shaved it.
Right.
Paramount never would have known, man. If you would have came out, those makeup artists are so freaking good.
I know.
You know what I mean? And he could have just had his personal assistant, his, quote unquote personal assistant,
right,
follow him to his trailer every morning and just put on a nice, thick, sexy mustache.
Oh, yeah.
And then came out onto the set at Paramount. They never would have known.
They never would have known. They should have done that because, honestly, a lot of it legitimately ruined a couple of scenes that should have been more powerful and better in that movie. But it doesn't matter anymore because they're in 2021. We're going to get this on HBO Max, and I am legitimately excited to see this and to see more of this because I love the entire cast. Even though I don't like the movies, I like the cast. I like aspects of it. I just want to see this thing come to fruition.
Yeah, I'm super. I'm super excited. It's so different than I thought was happening. I honestly thought that they just had everything done, and he was just gonna, they were just holding on to it because to build excitement that it's coming, and then, release it in 2021 on HBO Max. But no, to actually go back and fix. I'm almost shocked that they don't release it in the theater first, then back to You know what I mean?
Right. They might. I mean, who knows? They might put it in theaters and do like a special Fathom Events thing for it, which would be kind of cool.
Well, if they go back and they watch it and the people that go, oh shit, we should have stuck with this. they'll go, we'll put it in theater first.
Yeah, and make them make a ton of money off it. I mean, they're going to make money off this no matter what.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy because it's actually smart if you think about it. HBO Max is releasing on the 27th of May, 2020, this month.
Yep.
And I don't know how many people. If you have an AT&T cell phone, then you get it a free subscription to it, right?
Right.
Depending on your level. And if they don't get a lot of subscriptions right off the bat, which they probably will. I mean, because Warner Brothers stuff is. Dude, they're a studio that's over 100 years old. They have so much content. It's ridiculous. I mean, they rival Disney in every way.
I mean,
they're the only company that does.
They got Harry Potter. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they get the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, they legitimately are the only company that rivals Disney when it comes to content.
Yeah.
They have Marvel. Warner Brothers has DC, right? They have Mickey Mouse and Friends. They have Looney Tunes.
Yep.
And then, of course, all of those live action movies, like you said, like Harry Potter and all that kind of stuff. So that's the one company that could do it, And so if they don't get a ton of people like Disney did, right? Because Disney like took over the market on that streaming when Disney Plus came out, holding something like this back.
Tons dropped in The Mandalorian too, though.
Yeah, right. But holding everything back and then releasing it in 2021 is a smart move. Because now they'll have all these people that are signing up today, but then in January, February, whenever they release this, it just says 2021. We don't know the month, but as it gets closer, people are just going to jump on board just to be able to see this thing.
Oh yeah, be on board right away.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It is. Well, man, I think that's a show.
I think that is a show.
Yeah.
Robert, thanks for doing the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys had a lot of fun, and I'm excited for you, buddy. I really am.
Yep.
So there you guys go. All right. Usually we go into a long spiel about what's at spoilerverse.com, our amazing website that was built around spoiler country, but has now expanded into its own universe. We have a ton of podcasts for you to enjoy, articles, and a lot of older episodes that there is no paywall. That just allows you to go back and enjoy all this content and really have a fun time with it. I say there's no paywall right now because you never know what the future holds. Right. Joe Rogan just signed an exclusive podcast contract with Spotify. So all his stuff that you see all over the curated is going to be gone. It's all going to be on Spotify.
Yep.
Still going to be free.
Yeah.
But you still got to go there.
And if you want to pay, but if you do want to pay money, if you do want to support us, there's a way you can do that. I guess if you found our Patreon, you could do that. And there's nothing there, but you could do it if you want to. But there's a store link on our website, spoilerverse.com, in the middle. Click on that store, and you can go buy T-shirts and hoodies and tapestries and whatever. And we just put out a new one yesterday with our tagline, open the mind, read more. And it's already sold quite a few of them. And we'd like you to go there. You should buy one of those too, because not only is that a good tagline that everybody should be doing to be reading more, it also helps support the show.
That's right. It keeps the lights on, as they say, because we're not making a ton of money here.
I mean, yes, we're not.
All right, guys, that's a show. And don't forget, in the oceans of podcasts,
we are Cthulhu.
And as Cthulhu compels you to do,
open the mind
and read more.